Tri-State Jericko. Brother John, turn the music up. It's real low. It's real low. It's real low. Hey, 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 hey. Woo! Door! Hand on us, start the rope. Some kids who flash like they assassin. Pick up my door and BK, the sunny glass. Yes. Yes. It's another Thursday. I'll be the voice of Westchester, Tri-State Jericko. Brother John, it's another Thursday. Yes. Here we go. 1-2. Yes, we're in the building. 29 South Broadway. Brother back in the building. Yes. Woo! So mean. Let's go. Hey. Yes. Here we go. Yes, another Thursday right now. We're waiting for some people to come in. I mean the voice. Bring that back one more time, bro. Bring that back one more time. Yes. Another show. Yes, another Thursday. We told you we'd be back. We told you we're coming back with the parents of the Roosevelt girls. We got the parents on the side of the story. Yes. Hey. 2-part series. Who you know has a show with 2-part series? Nobody but me and Brother John. Brother. Yes. What's up, yo? We got a nice audience. I wish y'all could see the audience we have today. We heard the audience. First, do that mic check. 1, 2. Y'all hear us? Put your thumbs up if you hear us right now. I'm coming through. Are we coming through clear? Are we coming through clear? Like I always do. Give us a thumbs up. I'm doing it like I do it for TV. They call me the voice. Yes. So okay, they're giving the heart. So they can hear us clear. Like we said, 1-2, Brother2Brother, Yonkers Knockouts in the building, 29 South Broadway. You know where we at. We told you we was gonna come back with the parents of the Roosevelt girls basketball, so y'all can hear the other side of the story. Basketball team, not basketball. You said basketball. Okay, what was it? Basketball. Okay, basketball team. He said basketball. All right. We'll take what you take. Right. No argument. I got the applause sign. When I put the applause sign, they come up and it says, all right. No, something about slow. You got a whack crowd. Yes, but we back in the building. We're going to stop the joke and we're going to get serious because I need people to understand and definitely pay attention because we're going to take it to the other side. And I got Crystal. That's Shakayla's mother. Yes. That was the accuser, right?
Yes.
The accuser. Yes. So we jumped in with 2 feet first and 2 arms second and neck third and eyebrows fifth. Yes, definitely gonna go. Yes. So how you doing, young lady?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Yes, anytime. Let me ask you a question. So when you found out or whatever the legend you found out was going on, just give us your side and how did you find out and the suspension and everything that went on?
Well, I got a phone call Friday morning, and the AP called and said that my daughter will be suspended for disorderly conduct in the game that she had played prior to that, the day before that. And within that game, her being suspended, she was going to be removed from her senior activities, and that's basically it. The senior activities.
Did they tell you why?
For disorderly conduct. She was supposed to have said some racial, antisocial words that I don't even know.
Okay. And when they did that, they didn't interview her. They didn't do nothing. They just straight up said, "This is what's going to happen."
So once I got home, Shakayla was explaining to me she was interrogated by the AP, the head coach.
So that's different from the coach that was suspended.
Different from the coach that was suspended.
Okay.
Which should have not been suspended.
Yep, put them right there. Yep. Mm-hmm. You gotta turn around. You can tell she's not a teacher or anything like that. This was turned the other way. Well, she gonna get it right. She gonna get it right. Mm-hmm.
So she was suspended by. So she was interrogated by the head coach. The AP and someone from the board and the head security. So when I got the call, I didn't know all these people were in the room. It was just the AP, Miss Asensio.
Oh.
Yes.
Ooh, she said names. She said, you know what?
Yes.
It's okay.
So,
It's okay.
yeah.
Don't say a name.
So once
embarrassed to do that, right?
once I got the call, and so I said, okay, no problem. She was suspended for 5 days. Okay. So like I said, when I got home, Shakayla was kind of explaining a little bit. Like, I know my daughter's not an innocent person, but I know what they called for was nothing of her standards that I do know. So once after that, I spoke to another parent that was at the game, and she explained everything that was going on, and she didn't understand why Shakayla was suspended. So as we was talking, she said, you need to go in on Monday and speak to them, because Shakayla should not be suspended. It shouldn't, the consequences doesn't match up for what they accusing her for.
Yes.
So went in on Monday. Two of the parents that was parents came in the same day on Monday, and they was very supportive. When we went there, they was not expecting us. They had all these people from the district office, and they was in their room getting their little stories together. Once they got their stories together, they asked us, we'd like to meet with you. But we didn't come to meet with you because you didn't even call us in for a meeting.
So y'all went on there on your own?
On our own. There was no calls. Here we heard like all the things that was going on. After everything was going on, that Friday, that would happen on Friday, then Saturday, they had all of these things coming on social media.
Yes.
Where other parents from Leffell School was sending all these things saying that that my daughter shouldn't go to college. She should sit on a couch and work at McDonald's. And I'm like, what does that mean? And calling us apes and stuff like that was okay.
See, now, you know what's it's crazy that you saying this right here, but you never heard that you never heard that part.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy because when things like that happen, you only hear the part that they want you to hear.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to do more of your investigation to find out what the other side said. I always say this: someone does things, right, and it is sad because they don't never tell the other side when someone, you know, when things happen like that.
Right.
You know, and nobody would never know if you just sit here and tell us this.
Right.
That's crazy.
Like, there was no investigation when my daughter was suspended. It was just an automatic suspension, kicked off the basketball team, and senior activities she was not allowed to take part in. So after the meeting, the AP asked to speak with me. So we went into a meeting. It was her, myself, my daughter, and another person from the district office. I don't recall his name. And as we're having a meeting, so I'm asking her, like, what's going on with this suspension? Why she's being suspended if there's no investigation? So at that point, she was like, oh, she's not suspended. I was like, but you said she was suspended. So we went a whole weekend. She missed a whole day of school because y'all kicked her out of school. So she's suspended. Why is she suspended? No, well, she's not suspended. I said, well, can I get it in writing? Oh, you don't have to have anything in writing because it's not documented. It's not documented, but you said it was. So now it's not documented, so I didn't get nothing in writing. So they said, well, she's no longer suspended. All of that's been pushed to the side. So I was like, okay, so what about her senior? Oh, well, she can participate in senior activities. So I'm like, oh, now she can participate in senior activities. How did that go? Then they said, but she's no longer can take part on the team. But still, no investigation.
No investigation.
No investigation.
No evidence.
No evidence. Nothing.
She still can't play basketball.
But she still can't play basketball.
So I have a question. And when you speak to the young ladies, is the school allowed when there's something like that going on to actually, if there's an investigation, to question your kids without you there?
Well, that's the question I had, but I guess because she's 18, they felt that comfortable to do that. But I still feel when you have more than one adult in the room, I should have been a part of that, and I was not aware of that when they called me for telling me that she was suspended.
Okay.
It was never noted. Oh, well, we have other people here that's in the room and whatever. And she was kind of afraid. She felt intimidated. She felt afraid.
I would too.
Yeah, so, you know.
That sound kind of shady to me.
Yes.
You know, that's shady.
Yes. Yes.
That's real shady right there.
Mhm.
You know, but like I said, you still won't hear that side of what's going on after the fact. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like we hear this side, but then you like, you know, nobody knows what else, everything else that happened.
Right.
You know,
And that's why y'all here.
Right.
yeah. Tell the story. You know,
Right.
'cause nobody else is allowing anyone to tell that story, and that's sad because it's like a one-side situation. You know, we hear their side, but not our side. You know, which is horrible.
Right.
You know,
Same
which is
thing.
horrible. It's good. That's good.
Okay.
It's good.
He said it's good.
Yeah, but it was no support. It was like a stab in the back. It was a stab in the face, it was just to a point, me as a parent, and they know they can always contact me. They know I'm very supportive when it comes to my daughter, but not to have that support and finding out the investigation was nothing. So I had made an appointment with her a week later. I asked, you know, we had the meeting, and then she had said, well, she still can't play. She can't play. We had the investigation, but I still didn't see a copy of the investigation. They had
Did they tell you what the results of the investigation were?
They had 3 people who wrote statements. 2 people from off her team that were not on the court. So I don't understand how they was able to write a statement, and a referee. Now my question to her, well, how was the referee was able to write a statement, but during the game, they was able to play a couple of minutes after that. So if he heard it, why was they able to continue to play the game? That made no sense. So how did he, after the fact, write a statement?
Yes.
I asked for a copy of that statement, couldn't get it. She said I was not allowed to have the statement because of two of the statements were for students. I don't need the students. We already know who the students were because they told my daughter, you know, they come. But my whole thing was, well, what about the referee? I can have him. He's an adult. Why can't I have that? Couldn't have a copy of that. So it was finally said that she was not allowed to play. So it was a done deal. Because my whole thing, I wanted her to please at least play for her senior day.
Yes.
So it was taken off the table. A few of her friends had made a poster. That poster was not allowed to be omitted in on the game. So everything was taken away from her. Like they took away the number, everything. So she was that number, yes.
So anything that affiliated her
Right.
had to be taken down.
Yes, everything.
And this is y'all know what I would say. These are the educators. So they basically said we'll destroy you.
Yes.
So they're saying we're not going to try to help someone. We're not going to try to get a solution, a resolution. We're just going to destroy you.
Right.
Okay.
And still no apology.
No apology.
Still no apology. Nowhere.
With all the statements all around the board,
Right.
like from other people, from leaders. It's still no apology.
No
it's like
apology.
we stick to this, and that's what it is.
Right, and which I think is unfair, especially when it comes to our politicians, how they make these statements before any interviews. No interviews was set out, nothing.
No.
And politicians already wrote out, oh, we will not tolerate this. How can you? What are you not tolerating when you don't know what happened?
Facts.
Nothing was labeled. It was just right.
I don't even consider it an investigation. See, there's a couple things wrong with it. Like you said, they made the statements before the investigation. And then you have an investigation and nobody involved in whatever happened or a part of the investigation.
Right.
It's like we'll pick and choose who we want to hear from. Like you just said we're going to destroy one. No, not just one, the team. And you're not going to ask the people on the court what happened.
Right.
And I don't know how you can have an investigation. That's like saying, hey, I tell you I didn't do it. We said, well, we're going to go ask Jericko. I said, well, Jericko wasn't there. Well, we don't care.
We're going to ask him
anyway, and we'll go by what Jericko said.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that doesn't make sense.
Right.
You know, and we're talking about the people who run the school.
Right.
And they should have some heat on the superintendent.
Yes.
And he needs to find out what happened. Be the superintendent, and these things are happening, then he needs to find out what went on.
Right.
He needs, but what he probably feel, because there's not going to be any heat or anybody going down there to bring any heat to him, but he definitely, and one of the young ladies said that she was being harassed. So if the school doesn't want to do nothing about it, then the superintendent should be getting involved.
Because that's his job to oversee something like that, right? I mean, if I'm wrong, correct me, but I think superintendent is a person that oversees this district, right? That he runs. And when things like that happen, he should be all hands on deck. Everybody in his office should be all hands on deck, and they should investigate before everyone comes out with their statements. That's the problem I got with the whole thing. Like, don't say a statement if you don't know what's going on. But then, when you do find out, when you do say a statement, right? When you do find out what's going on, what's wrong with you apologizing? Like, so when it comes down to us,
Right.
people feel like they don't have to apologize to us. Like, if, it's just all right. They'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? And which is starting to be very, 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 very disrespectful to us. Like we don't deserve an apology when you're totally wrong. I got a problem with that. I got a problem with that. And sometimes all you ask is just someone say, you know what? I jumped the gun. I follow behind another person. I follow behind this person. But then when it comes to find out, I apologize. You know what I'm saying? The way you made a statement, the way you wrote the statement, the way the let's say the news went by it. Everybody went by it in a negative way from the get up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is sad. But when it comes down to us, it seems like they don't have no one has to give us an apology. When we do something, it's like the end of the world. Oh, guess what he did? He has a problem. Guess what she did? She is very mad at the world. No, it's not like that.
And the problem, and what it is the problem is a lot of us do apologize, and then maybe we need to stop.
Yes.
Apologize.
I agree.
Okay.
Right. If that's the case, then we need to stop apologizing. If nobody else feels that they need to apologize.
Okay.
And I want to let it be known that there should be heat brought to the superintendent if we're seeing, and the ladies are seeing someone being harassed.
Yes.
That the investigation, nobody knows what the results are. That I'm suspended and I'm not suspended. Right? There's a whole bunch of things he should be looking into.
Right.
Yeah.
That I'm quite sure are not even on his table right now.
Unless he really don't care.
Yeah.
But let's get to that point. We give him too much benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
He might not even give a damn about as in not giving a damn about the women, about what happened with them. Maybe he just don't care. You gotta look at that too.
Yeah, and I feel when it came to the day of that I had the meeting with Asensio, when I asked her about the suspension, the funny thing was she was like, "Oh, we just sent her home for her safety." I said, "Her safety?" I said, "The day after this situation happened, you sent her out for her safety? No, you sent her out there to the wolves. Because nobody knew who was outside. And you sent her outside, you sent her home, but you saying that you was trying to keep her safe. And I feel you wasn't keeping her safe, y'all was trying to keep your reputation safe.
Yeah.
Not my daughter, because she's the black child, so we don't worry. We ain't worried about that black child. If she comes back to school, she come back to school. If something happens, something happens. And, that was unfair to her. And that was a fear for her because when she was on her way home, she's calling me like, "Mommy, I don't know why I'm suspended. I know you always think that I did something wrong, but I didn't do nothing wrong. I don't feel that I did anything wrong. I shouldn't have." And, she's waiting for the bus 30 minutes. She's sitting outside, afraid,
Which I don't think, all right, they don't supposed to send kids home without letting their parents know.
Oh, no, they called me for the
They
suspension.
called you?
called
Says
me.
we sitting at home?
Right.
Okay. Because I know when we used to go to school, we couldn't
Right.
go to the store. We couldn't do nothing without they calling our parents.
Yeah.
Like, how you know I did that?
They it's just so much that needs to be looked into on a serious level.
Right.
And they need to, and the pressure should be brought. How you bring the pressure, there's a couple of ways, but we can talk about that later.
Oh, can I say one thing?
Yes.
So we went to one of the games after all of this happened. We sat at the game. Everything was fine. Nobody said nothing to us. So the following week they had another game. my daughter calls me. She said, "Mom, they're not letting me in the game." I said, "Well, I'm on my way, so I'm thinking they might not let her in the game because I wasn't there because we were there at the last game." So they had an AP, Mr. Del Monte, the AP, was sitting outside like they protecting dog, watching her. They kicked her out the school, watching her, making sure she get off the premises and stuff. So as I come, he's walking to me. So he's saying, "Oh, I'm sorry. What are you sorry for? What are you sorry for? Oh, she can't come to the game. Why she can't come to the game? She can come. Her team is playing, even though she's not part of the team no more. Why can't she come to the game?" I said, "Well, she don't have to come. I'm coming." "Oh, you can't come either."
Whoa,
I can't come.
The whole family.
Yeah, so we couldn't come to the game. We couldn't support the team.
Why weren't you allowed to go?
So they saying something about some conduct code of conduct says that if a person is suspended, they're not allowed to show support.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if that was true, and they said she couldn't come under the code of conduct, right? That code of conduct has anything to do with you.
Yeah.
Right.
Has nothing to do
right.
with you.
And it just kept apologizing. I said, "Stop apologizing." I said, "That's the problem with people today. They always want to apologize and don't know what they're apologizing for."
Exactly. And that's another one you can have the superintendent explain to you. That if the code of conduct says she couldn't come because she's suspended and she's a part of the team, she can't participate, what does that have to do with me?
Right.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad.
So they just basically just washed her off of with everything. You know, they tried. You had another AP who was trying to keep her separated from other team members. Was going to the team members, telling the team members, "Oh, don't hang with her. She's bad news. You're gonna get a bad reputation if you hang with her." But my whole thing is, where does the community come in with to keep our kids together instead of against each other?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to having them? You as a administrator going to the girls and say, "You know what? Maybe you did something wrong. Maybe you said something wrong. But you know what? I still got your back. I'm still here for you. Let's try to mend it. Let's try to come together as one and see how can we make this right and make changes where we won't make those same mistakes. Because in life, we have the right to make mistakes, and we're supposed to have room to make the mistakes, to correct mistakes. Because these young girls, they supposed to be able to make mistakes, so to learn from them, to get better, to do better. But when you have a black person who's supposed to be supportive to them, outside of everybody else, and you pushing them away, that's unfair.
That's bad.
Pushing them apart.
And it's supposed to be educators to teach.
Educators, yes.
So this is a time to teach.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This is the time to teach.
So what did
This is
you
the
teach
time
them?
to get a workshop.
Right.
This is a time to build.
Right.
This is a time to have a assembly and sit and talk about things like that happen, not to point fingers at one person, let the one person be the downfall of anything that occurred. But like I said, it's just time to teach, and they kind of missed the time to teach.
Right.
They missed the shot.
And that's another thing, because I'm gonna hit each part that they should be looking into. If that's bad practice, that you have someone in charge to go around to all the other girls and say, "Stay away from her because you'll get a bad name. Don't do this, you'll get a bad name. I wouldn't be around her if I was you." That means you're promoting it.
That's bullying.
Yes.
Yeah. That's part of bullying, right?
That's
kind of part of bullying. Bullying is in different situations, everything, right? Harassment. Yeah.
Well, I gotta bring someone else on.
Okay.
One of the other parents,
Yes.
Deanna. Yes.
Okay. Deanna, we
Thank you, Crystal.
We gonna tell you something.
Welcome.
You get on here with your daughter. She couldn't figure something out.
It's gonna be embarrassing.
She said.
Put your chair up. No, it's not embarrassing.
No, it ain't embarrassing. All right, just put the earphones on. Wait till you get situated.
One on, one off.
You right? We said. Listen. We
It's
said.
easier for you that way.
Listen. You ready?
Is it big or you just put it down?
We gotta turn something down.
Okay, she's two.
Oh,
Are
she's
you better now?
You better now? Okay.
Is one
All
ear
right.
off? Okay.
All right, this is what happened. We asked her, we said, "What's your mother's name? How you spell your mother's name?" She said, "Mommy."
Well, technically, I am.
I know, but she said, "What's your mother's name?" She said, "Mommy."
Yeah, and I spelled it. She said, "That's not the way you spell it." So I said, "Okay."
You're kind of close, but no.
Well, we figured it out. And I was just joking when she said, "Mommy." We said that when
And
somebody else said that.
you're Jasmine.
Yes.
Okay. So, well, we're ask you the same thing. When did you hear about it? What was going on? How did it go down?
Okay, so,
Come on, you gotta come.
closer?
You can move your chair all the way up. Hit the microphone.
What's something?
Mhm.
Is that better? That's
Much better.
Okay. So the game occurred on January 4th, the evening of January 4th. I attended the game. I was one of the parents that was there. The following morning, I received a phone call from the assistant principal. At that time, she was acting as the principal because I believe he was out on leave for surgery. She explained to me that my daughter was being suspended due to accusation from the game from the night before. When I asked her, what exactly were they saying that she did, she kept saying to me, well, one of the girls from the other team said that your daughter cursed at her and that she hit her. I said to her, I was at the game. She definitely didn't hear her. I said, but she definitely did curse at my daughter first. I said, so are we going to ignore that? I said to her, have you even watched the video from the game? Because I did find out that even as of today, a lot of parents don't know, or just the public in general doesn't know that there's an actual video of the game from beginning to end. One with audio and one without audio. She said to me, well, I did watch the video. I said, if you watch the video, there's no way you missed the fact that little girl was yelling at her. You see her yelling at my daughter and pointing at her. She goes to me, okay, well, give me a second. Let me watch it while I'm on the phone. What bothered me about that interaction was the phone call didn't come directly from her. My daughter called me. So she didn't even call me to inform me that, we had this meeting with your daughter. If my daughter didn't call me, I wouldn't have known. So I said to her, put me on speaker.
Oh, so they were meeting with her?
Yes.
And
There was a
are they
meeting.
allowed to do that with you not there?
I've been looking into that. What I'm being told from right now is that it's kind of like up in the air whether or not they're supposed to meet with your kids when you're not present. What I was told was if it's something where the meeting is supposed to be a restorative meeting, then yes, sometimes they can have those without the parents present, but that clearly was not a restorative meeting. And at the time of the phone call, I didn't know that there were 5 other adults in the room. Oddly enough, when the phone call went on, they remained quiet. I kept speaking to the assistant principal, but no one else in the room made it clear they were in the room with my daughter. I found that out way after when my daughter finally told me.
So that was interrogation.
Yeah,
That's what I was
basically,
saying.
basically, I was going to say that.
Yeah,
you
because
said
even the police can't do that.
Yeah.
Even the police can't
Is she
interrogate you without.
How old is your daughter?
She's 16.
Oh, that's against the law, and I'm not even a lawyer.
Yeah.
I know that's against the
Yeah.
law.
And so she's 16. Once again, the superintendent should be looking at. She's 16, and she was being questioned,
Interrogated, not questioned.
interrogated by 5 other people.
Yes.
Yes.
And they act like they weren't in the room when you were on the phone.
No one made it clear to me that they were even in the room. At the time, I thought it was just Mrs. Sensio, which is assistant principal. Assistant principal for 12th grade, and make that clear.
Okay.
So my daughter's in 11th grade. So she's the AP for 12th grade. She said to me, okay, I'll watch the video while you're on the phone with me. We stayed quiet for some time, and then she goes, okay, I watched it again. I do see what you're saying. I didn't hear her say it because she kind of mumbled it. My daughter said to me, what she said was, well, I see what she did, but it wasn't worth her giving that kind of reaction. And I said to her, who are you to tell my daughter how she should react? If someone's yelling at her and pointing at her and cursing at her, if she chooses to yell back at them, that's her choice. You can't tell somebody how they're supposed to react when someone's doing something to them.
Exactly.
At that point, she says to me, okay, well, you know what? Fine, she's not suspended. We're gonna look into things, and then I'll get back to you. That was the 5th on Friday.
I don't mean to cut you off. I get pissed sometimes. They do want to tell you how to react. See, when it's black kids, will tell you how you should react. Anybody else can react the way they feel. But when young black kids do it, either they're angry, they have problems, or this and that. So they do want to tell her or tell you how she should react.
Here's a good one. Or what's really the problem?
Yeah.
Can't
Something else. So that's what that's all about. Because if anybody else, they can react to how they feel. They can say exactly how they feel. We just can't say how we feel. I didn't mean to cut you off, but you can go ahead.
No problem. That was on Friday when we had the discussion with the assistant principal. By Sunday, there was a statement released, a joint statement with the superintendent and the mayor stating that pretty much the claims were founded and that the coach had been fired and that a student had been suspended. Now, that was news to me because, as far as I was told, Shakayla wasn't suspended anymore. So I was confused at how Now, on Sunday, there was a statement saying that there was a child suspended and that even the coach was being fired because I couldn't figure out what part he could have played in it based upon me being there at the game. I spoke with Shakayla's mother and another parent, and we decided to go up to the school that Monday morning. When we arrived that Monday morning, there appeared to be a meeting already going on with the assistant principal, the superintendent, the assistant superintendent, I believe the head of communications, and a couple of other school officials. When they finally did see us, it became, oh, you know, we're here to talk to you. You couldn't have been here to talk to us because you didn't know we were coming. You were having your own personal private meeting and you weren't going to consult with us. And that really bothered us because the evening before, we sent an email, a joint email between me, Shakayla's mother, and another parent to the superintendent. So you read that email and then came here to have a meeting with them, but you didn't even speak to us. Why didn't you reach out to us if we sent you this email concerning what happened and the statement that was released on Sunday?
Exactly.
During the meeting, the superintendent admitted that the claims were unfounded.
After the statement was made,
Yes.
after the statement was made, nothing was founded. Oh,
So Sunday,
there was pressure to do this, huh? Do you think there was pressure to do this? Because of what on the other side? You think there was pressure?
Yeah.
I know, maybe it's me.
No, I
But
know.
was there pressure to do that without knowing anything?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no problem. So during the meeting, you know, I kept saying to the superintendent,
Now, he said it wasn't founded.
yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure I got that right. He said it wasn't founded. Okay.
So he said, you know, the things that's in the media saying that the girls, because what was put out in the media pretty much was that the girls said, F Jews,
Yeah. That we're
free
down with
Palestine, we support Hamas, a couple of other things. And even that, no one did their homework with those statements as well, because everything became an issue because one of the girls on the opposite team, she released an op-ed for her school newspaper stating that, you know, her team had a bunch of injuries that they felt were intentional, that they were being cursed at, that Free Palestine was being yelled at them, and other anti-Semitic slurs. That's all she wrote in her op-ed. By that weekend, the New York Post, ABC7, it suddenly became that the girls said F Hamas, and those things weren't even in the girls' op-ed. Apparently, that came from the New York City Public School Alliance. I guess it's like a group of like parents that got together. So they released that on their Instagram page. They read what the op-ed the girl wrote and they decided for themselves that it was yelled out that F Hamas, even though that wasn't even written in her op-ed. Suddenly, all the newspapers began grabbing that statement, and that became the headline. It became hate at home. It became the girls were anti-Semitic, the girls were racist, and that they were chanting these things. But when you look at the little girl's op-ed, she doesn't even say that.
Wow.
But every newspaper ran with that statement.
And you know what's crazy is that no one knew none of this was happening, right? No one knew this. That's crazy. No one knew this.
I'd like to ask one question. Did any black leadership reach out to you guys?
Well, not to me. I do believe that Crystal said to me, one person did. I can't remember his name right now. One of the councilwomen. But he was one that released a statement. Bowman? Okay, yes, there you go. A council member by the name of Bowman, she said reach out to her.
Bowman's the congressman.
Okay,
Bowman's the
congressman. Sorry.
Yes.
And a councilwoman.
And a council.
So both of them reached out.
Both of them reached out to you guys.
No, not to me. You go to Crystal.
Oh,
Yes.
they reached out to, and they reached out to say what? Or did they say like what happened, or you know what did they say? Like, you know, y'all all right, or what happened, or none of that?
No.
What did they reach out to say? Did they reach out to say don't do it again, or you know what I'm saying? Like what was the reach out like?
Well, because I contacted Lakeisha, what's the council?
You contacted Lakeisha.
Lakeisha.
Yeah, she's the one who got back to me. She's the one that I emailed, and she got back to me, and she seemed very supportive.
Okay.
And she gave me the link to Waltman,
Okay.
and yeah.
Oh, Lakeisha. Okay, that's the city council president.
Yes.
And I would like to comment on that.
Okay.
When Crystal told me about that, I said to her, don't return their phone calls. The reason being is because because both of them released statements. And I asked her during the phone calls that you had with them, at any point did they apologize and say to you, we're sorry that we prematurely released these statements and we're now finding out what happened? She said no. Says don't return their phone calls anymore. Because Lakeisha Commons, she released a statement stating that this would not be tolerated, not in a community such as diverse as Yonkers, and that there needs to be a swift punishment for every student and adult that was involved in this. Now, I'm going to assume she released that statement without even watching the video that anyone had access to. Same thing with Bowman. You released that statement and you didn't even watch the video, because anyone who watched that video would know that those things didn't happen. So for you to call her mother now and to pretend like you're going to be here to help her, you're not here to help her. You're trying to save face. And for me, I feel like you should stand on that then.
Okay, exactly.
Don't turn around afterwards and say, you know what, you want to help me, if you're not going to at least take accountability for the fact that you released those statements.
I don't think nobody disagrees.
Yeah. No, nobody disagrees. That's what I said. People have problems with apologizing when they're wrong. And it's nothing to say, you know what, I jumped the gun, I'm so sorry. Due to further investigation, which everyone did, I apologize, and things didn't happen the way they seemed like it happened. That's it. But I think that a lot of people are just afraid of the other side. It's nothing to be afraid of. Right is wrong now. At the end of the day, it's like no one is better than anyone. We all gonna die the same way. We all gonna go to different graveyards, but we all gonna end up in the graveyard, right?
Yeah.
Right? But it seems like everybody's just as scared to say anything. But when the right is right and wrong is wrong, I don't care what color you are. When it's wrong, it's wrong. When it's right, it's right. You know what I'm saying? And to say, yo, I'm sorry, that's a lot of people got problems with that. And that's why the world is so crazy right now, because people do not want to say they was wrong. At the end of the day, they'll say, you know what? But nothing. Mm-hmm. You was wrong. You was wrong. And that's sad when.
It's sad when you feel like you can't say nothing, or take the other side and say, well, I'm not going to say that, and I'm not. All I'm going to say, well, I'm not going to do that. Y'all can go ahead. But I'm not going to do it. Let me wait to see what happens, because that's what happens. See, every time we are accused of doing something, that's what happens. But when the other people do something, let's wait till we hear all the facts. That's the first thing thrown out. You don't know all the facts. Let's wait. And they never do it when we already got the facts.
We already got the facts. And you shut up. You're nothing. You know what I'm saying?
That's going there. It's a double standard all the way around. The young ladies don't understand how proud I am of them, because they should stand strong. And the way I get upset when we have leaders with symbolism, but when it's time to come down and say, hey, back us, this and that, nobody moves. But you know what? They'll all get awards next week for something that they did that nobody knows that they did. Like, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know anything about it. But they keep going. But when the black community comes and says, hey, listen, we need this help here. You're here. You're in that position. Yeah. It's like,
Well, like I always say this, the way you get a lot of people back is when that time comes, when they come down here and kiss the babies. You know what I'm saying? When they come to the square and everybody's so happy, you see every politician in the world, you see them at the Chinese restaurant, you see them at the chicken joint, you see them everywhere, right? Because they want you to hold them down.
Yeah.
But see, we got to start having to hold them accountable so when they get there. But at the end of the day, don't forget nothing that went down.
No.
Right? No. Don't forget nothing that went down. So when they come to you, no. Do you know we're not doing that?
I don't want to cut you off. I'm going to let you go right back to yourself. Mm-hmm. There's people who look at me and my brother and say, y'all sure y'all want to touch that?
Man, look.
What are you talking about? What do you mean when am I sure I want to touch it? There's nothing to touch. I'm giving you the other side of the story. However you take it now, that's you.
That's you.
I'm here to let you know there's another side. You need to hear.
There's another side.
Yeah.
And like I said, end of the day, it's another side. And no one else addressed the other side. And that's not fair. You know, we got an outlet for the other side to come and talk about what happened. go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no racial situation. It's no whatever that word is they start using now. That's a new word. It's nothing. That's not the type of conversation we're having here.
Mm-hmm.
We're having a conversation where what's right and what's wrong is wrong.
Yep.
So when you say that, no, if that's how you feel, that means that you can't have a conversation about what's right and what's wrong is wrong. That means something's wrong with you. You dig it?
Yes, continue. We're getting a little hot right now.
We getting hot. We're getting hot. Hot.
Go ahead. I will sit back.
Okay, yeah, so Monday we had that meeting. During the meeting, I kept speaking to the superintendent and saying to him, well, if you're saying currently here in front of all of us that, the claims were unfounded, why did you release that statement with the mayor stating that it was? He kind of went around it for quite some time. Then finally he said to me, well, that's not the statement that I released on my actual page. So I opened up my phone and I read it to him. And I said to him, is this the statement that you released? I said, so I'm trying to find out from you. In this statement, you're saying that, yes, these things happened and that as a result of it, you have now suspended one child and you have fired the coach. Well, we can't really discuss, about personnel. I said, I'm not really asking you to discuss his personal business. Based upon you releasing that statement, it gives everyone in the public the impression that he was fired due to that incident. Because if he was fired for some other reason, there will be no need to put his name in that statement stating that he was fired. It gives everyone the impression that he was fired for that reason. And I personally feel like he was the fall guy. There had to be someone. There couldn't be no one that wasn't punished. That doesn't fit the narrative. If you're saying all these things happened, then someone has to be essentially punished. And I believe he was simply the fall guy. I said to him, okay, you know what? We've been here for about an hour now. We can go on and on and on, about what should have happened, how it was supposed to happen. You're saying the claims were unfounded. The issue that we have is that the public now has decided that our girls are racist. Some of the girls are receiving hate mail. The things that are being written about them in social media is like disgusting. If you're here to help the girls, release a new statement. Release a new statement.
That can help. That can help 100%. That can help. See, you know what? And you nailed it. If you guys can shut down the situation that's going towards them with us, just to say that this is what it is, why don't you do it? And that's sad though. That's sad.
It is.
And these are educators again, right?
Yes.
These are people that's supposed to start teaching at this time. They should teach, right?
Exactly.
Teach, have a forum about this and that and this. But they blew it, right?
Exactly.
They dropped the ball.
So later on that day, there was a statement released from the superintendent, a new one, stating that, the claims were unfounded. It was picked up by News 12. News 12 released it, and then News 12 also did an interview with him. And during the interview, he admitted again that, the claims were unfounded. Right after, News 12 did an interview with the mayor to ask him his opinion on how he felt about what the superintendent was saying in regards to the fact that the claims were unfounded. His response, well, something must have happened. Someone said something to hurt someone's feelings. Now, saying something to hurt someone's feelings versus being racist, or anti-Semitic, or saying F the Jews is two totally different things. So to kind of still push that narrative that, okay, something happened when you know it didn't, it's like you're still making it this issue. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Like, what is your purpose for doing that?
That's wrong.
In my personal opinion, I do feel like the reason why things were handled the way they were is because, unfortunately, the other team was a private school and they were all Jewish. I do believe if the other team was a Yonkers public school with predominantly black kids, it wouldn't have been handled that way. I believe that once the little girl released her op-ed, it became, we have to do damage control. And unfortunately for them, they assumed that everything happened, so they just went forward with it without realizing that, okay, no, these things did not happen. I did notice that in all the articles, no one ever mentions that there's a video. There's a video where you can see from beginning to end of the game. I think it runs for about a good half an hour after the game ends. Now, me as a parent, if my daughter was playing a basketball game and the girls on the other team were chanting racist things at her and cursing at her and intentionally injuring her and her other teammates, I wouldn't stay after that game and hang around and chit-chat. In the video, you see the parents from the other team, they're hanging around, they're talking and laughing. That doesn't fit the narrative.
Wow.
But that video was never put out there. No one ever mentions the video. I don't think anyone really even knows the video exists. But oddly enough, after the superintendent released that statement, that article disappeared. Within maybe about 2 hours, if you looked it up, you couldn't find that article anymore. And they stopped running the interview that was done with News 12 with him. They only ran the one that showed the mayor saying that, you know, something was said to hurt someone's feelings. And then they continued running all the other articles stating that, yes, the girls did these things. Any article that pretty much said they didn't, they were removed.
Oh,
There
so
was-
they removed all. Wow. That's tough.
Yes.
Like you said from the beginning, it's a shady.
Oh man, that's like I said, man. It goes back to saying what's right and right, wrong is wrong. It's wrong, man. Like it's not a racial situation, and like I said, it's not a hate. It's not none of that. It's just, you know, right and right is wrong is wrong. If you're wrong, admit you're wrong. You know, and then move on. You know, and a lot of people have problems with that. You know, a lot of people have problems with that when it comes to, you know, doing that, and that's sad. You know,
If we,
it's sad.
the bigger issue is, if we learned how to stick together, we wouldn't have
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have the problem. The problem is that they do not feel anything would happen. And they're
That's
not,
what that is.
and that's the bigger thing. If they know that 100, 200 people are gonna come up to the Board of Education and stand there, they're gonna say, hold up, we need to deal with this issue.
Yeah,
issue
and there'll be an
differently.
apology there,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you know they say,
But
oh,
because-
what's
because-
going on?
Yeah,
You know,
because they feel that, you know, like I said, give them 2-3 weeks, it'll die down, and nobody's, basically what are they gonna do? Because they won't do it to nobody else. They won't do it to nobody else. And like I said, we're not supposed to speak up, and we're supposed to act scared
Yeah,
and
yeah.
not say anything. And y'all are doing great because and that's your job. Because I remember your daughter saying that.
Your job as a parent to protect your child.
I remember your daughter just saying
Word.
last week
I protect
that
my daughter all the time.
she guessed you had said something, and y'all got principal. Something was said, and I don't know who the person was. I remember your daughter said it. And said because he couldn't get to you, he started taking it out on her.
Yes, and I sent an email with a formal complaint to the superintendent regarding that back on February 7th. I finally got a response, actually, this morning. Yesterday. Yesterday, I got a response from his secretary stating that, oh, they wasn't aware that I sent the email. Now, I sent that email to the superintendent, and then I CC'd the assistant superintendent, I CC'd the director of communications. So for me, it was just, there's no way that none of you guys received this email. It's that, okay, this is becoming a problem and she won't shut up, so let's finally deal with this because she keeps on complaining and she keeps sending complaints. Because I definitely did call and let them know, you know, if no one gets back to me by the end of the week, I'll move on to the Board of Ed, and then after that, I'll know what other steps I have to take as well, because you can't just ignore the situation.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. 100%. And I believe it because that's it. That. But if the problem is with you, it's like what we've been saying all day. She won't be quiet. She won't. We can't get her to leave it alone, right? Where they don't do that to everybody else. They don't do it to everybody else. And like I said, if we get together, they can't do it to us. And we've always said we're here, and me and my brother, we help everybody, right? And I don't have a problem coming out to help you guys. And that's just news. Everybody's not the same. I tell people all the time, I really don't deal with adults when adults get in the room things myself. But I sincerely deal with the youth, and I back them. And some people say it and say, well, what's its end game? I don't have an end game. My end game is whichever ones I can help, I help. You know, I have gang members here, right? I have all those types of people here, but I work with all of them, and I don't have this end game. My end game is when you're 13 and you come back here and see me when you're 20 and say, hey, coach, I'm doing good. That's my end game. And for you guys to be told to be quiet, leave it alone. Don't leave it alone. Please don't be quiet and keep moving. Like I said.
Because you messed up her name. You messed up. You disrespect her name with something that wasn't founded. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, if it's not founded, where's the apology, man?
But I'll tell you this: if they came up right now with some tape, they said, "Oh, we found some other tape," and it says you said something. Just say they said that, they would be looking for everybody to apologize.
Yeah. No, apologize.
Not apologizing.
No way.
I'm not apologizing.
No way, because
You waited too long.
he waited too long.
You waited too long.
You listen. I see the tape. The tape was cut, man. They went to Tyler Perry and he cut the tape. He edited.
Well, let you get back. I just
Yes.
wanted to say y'all are doing great as far as I'm concerned. And if you need help, I'll stay.
And we just wanted to give y'all guys an outlet to tell your story, because a lot of people didn't give y'all an outlet to tell your story, and y'all deserve it. You know, y'all deserve to tell your side of the story. Like if you go to court, right? Both sides has to be heard before the jury makes a decision, right? One side can't make a decision, then like, yo, what happened to our side? So that's what it seemed like happened. One side did everything, and you guys came to court, and y'all was like, all right, you're going to jail right now. What? Are you kidding me? We didn't tell, my lawyer didn't, he didn't tell his side of the story, and, but like I said, we got this outlet for you guys. Y'all came through, tell everybody. So now it should be a better light on the situation. It should be, everybody should see.
And I'm gonna get your name, because there's a I don't know what they call it, African American women organization of Westchester.
Okay.
And I'm surprised they hadn't reached out or said anything.
Well, I'm pretty sure people probably didn't reach out because based upon what was in the media, there was no need to reach out.
Yes, okay.
If I read those articles, I would think, okay, they did it because the superintendent and the mayor said they did it. So who would think they didn't do it?
Yeah.
So I completely understand that. Which is why I also said to them, the way you guys handle things were really negligent, because even on the Yonkers district Instagram page, there were comments being written about the girl, like really nasty comments. And we asked about, why can't you just turn the comments off? From my understanding to this day, those comments are still there. Mm-hmm. Now, for me, I feel like you didn't even at least do your part and do that. Why would you allow those things to be written about those girls? You guys control that page. You can't control what goes on Instagram with other pages, but you have control of that page.
That's right.
And you did nothing to do it. So it makes me believe that you don't care. It's that you just generally don't care at all, or you don't care because they're black.
Yeah.
What is the reason why you don't care?
That sums it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even the way the investigation was done, none of the parents were interviewed. And the only parent that didn't, I think there were only 2 parents that didn't attend the game that evening. None of the parents were interviewed. So if we were at this game and there was these allegations, why didn't you interview any of the parents? And initially when we spoke to them, they said that all of the game managers admitted they never heard nothing. But about a month later, it became, oh no, an AP said he heard something. Mm-hmm. Why did it take him a month later to figure out he heard something? Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think he heard anything. Because why did it take a month? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Not a month.
Mm-hmm. That's tough.
Yeah, it is. And that's when you get back to the shady. Now you heard something.
That's tough.
Well, they're gonna cut us off soon. But I'm giving you the last word. Anything that you would like to say about just in general about the whole thing, the situation that happened?
I do feel like, the district and even Roosevelt High School, I feel like they dropped the ball when it came to doing their part to protecting their kids.
Yes.
I feel like the acting principal at the time, the 12th grade AP, she was really passive about things. I don't think she took any accountability, nor has she done so as of today in regards to how she mishandled the situation, with handing out suspensions before actually completing the investigation. I do believe that, a proper apology should be given to the girls.
Yes.
From their superintendent, the mayor, the principal, any other school officials who release statements stating that they did these things. A simple apology saying, you know what, we made a mistake. Mm-hmm. It gives the girls the impression that even if you're right, you're still wrong. And that's not okay. They shouldn't feel like, they should have to accept this and say, you know what, even though we didn't do these things and we can prove that we didn't do these things, we just have to accept it and it's just what it is. And sometimes things like that can follow a person. Some of these girls, this is their last year, they're graduating. They can go to college, it becomes, okay, oh, you went to Roosevelt High School, or you were on the basketball team. Oh, you know, then there's the whispers, okay, you know, you heard what happened. And no one's gonna say it didn't happen because it was in the news. It said it happened.
Yes. And that was our biggest concern, that this was gonna follow, unless it gets taken care of. And I'd like to just say, the Reverend Coleman and his wife, they both checked in, and they
Yes, he has been very helpful.
yes, big shout out to y'all. And I know you've been doing your thing.
Yep.
And you know we support you.
And we'd like to shout out to everybody else on the line who said something, you know, who gave advice to everyone. And we'd like to thank y'all for tuning in. This is a good show. I'm serious on this show. Usually I'm not too serious on other shows. I'm like the
And the last,
court jester.
yeah, and the last thing is that we have to start somewhere, and we need to start learning that we have to stick together, or more things like this is going to happen. You know, I have a grandson, I have nieces and nephews that are coming up, and like I always said, the same thing that happens to them can happen to you. Don't wait till it happens to you to decide you want to help.
Yes.
We ought to start getting together now.
Yes.
You know, and if it takes someone to get the meeting, and we bring up this is the issue that gets us together, then that'd be the issue to get us together. But we have to start somewhere. We have to learn to get along to get along.
All right.
You know, we ain't have to be the best of friends, but we got to learn to get along.
We can learn that from you.
And you know, I'm always coming up with something.
Yes.
Yeah. So
It's another Thursday, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll be the voice of Westchester, Tri-State Jericko, and this is Brother John. Oh, you want to say something else?
On the website. For
Go ahead.
In case anyone does want to watch the game, you know, where they could see it, if you go to Huddle, HUDL.com, and you look up Roosevelt High School, and you go to January 4th, I believe was the day of the game, you can see the game from beginning to end.
Do it one more time. Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
It's Huddle, HUDL.com, I believe. If you look up Roosevelt High School and then go to January 4th, you should be able to see the game, unless it magically disappears. But
Magically delicious.
but January 4th is where it should be.
Yes. So you heard it. You can go watch the game for yourself, and hey, you know, do it for yourself, man. Check it out, yo. I'll be the voice of Westchester, Tri-State Jericko. This is Brother John. This is Thursday night. It's Brother2Brother show. Thank y'all for tuning in. We at 29 South Broadway, Yonkers, New York. South Broadway, 29 South Broadway. Hey.
and you've heard the other side.
And you heard the other side. What happened to the music, brother?
I'm right there.
Sitting on the roof, I play on less than 100 proof. And no horses start the rope.
Once again, my friend, you know where we at. We're going to try it out.
Yes.
Great show. Check us out anytime. 29 South Broadway. Brother2Brother, y'all check out. And we out.
We out, y'all. See y'all next Thursday.
I don't know what to say, but there we go.